Hey there is an article about a woman who shouts and throws sticks at a python to stop it from eating a duck in a forest. There were mixed feelings about this act of intended kindness. There are people who criticize because they disagree with such actions as they believe that nature should be let to occur naturally. The python is the duck's predator, while the duck is the python's prey. It is natural that a predator hunts and a prey runs. While on the other side of the fence, some praise this woman because they think that it is a natural instinct to help those in danger. When we see someone, be it a human being or an animal, in danger or in need of help, we lend a helping hand within our means. Which side of the fence are you on? What if the incident had a slight twist and this happened instead? There is an article about a woman who stood by a hunting and escape process between a snake and a duck. Took a video of the process while the duck gets eaten alive. There were mixed feelings about this act of learning excursion. What could now be the comments? It could probably be... There are people who booed at the woman because they believe that it is cruel of her to watch the duck gets eaten alive in front of her. She is indirectly killing a life. Something like that? While on the other side of the fence, some feel that the woman has done nothing wrong since she is just allowing nature to take its course and it is her choice on whether to act on such incident, as she could be attacked by the snake if she did something at that moment. What if the incident twisted again and this happened instead? There is an article about a woman who stood by a hunting and escape process between a snake and a duck, took a video of it and witnessed the duck escape from the snake's clutches. There were mixed feelings about this act of eye-opening opportunity. What could now be the comments? Again, it could probably be... There are people who envied the woman because it is not common to see a duck escape from a snake, and she even managed to video it down. While on the other side of the fence, some feel that since the duck managed to escape, the snake would still be lurking around looking for another prey, and she was blamed for not calling the authorities to capture the dangerous snake. Although I made up the last two examples, it seems like there could always be good and bad thoughts about an action or inaction on a matter. When these articles are published, any behavior will naturally be judged by readers, which I think is unhealthy for the society because there are no right or wrong in such situations to be judged to start with. Therefore, the problem actually lies in the urge to judge or give comments on everything people see or hear. But since it is almost impossible to prevent everyone from judging, we could at least try to avoid possible actions that could lead to negative outcomes for the time being. So, why is there a need or want to judge a behavior in the first place? Before we discuss about why there is certainly no point in judging, I am curious. What is the actual purpose of publishing such news or article in the first place? Was there a purpose for it? Was there something to be achieved, like to create awareness on a campaign? Or was it to educate the public about something? I hope it is not to publish an article just for the sake of publishing an article or for some other benefits. In my opinion, instead of publishing these articles online, these topics could instead be used in private events. For example, in school examinations or work interviews, but simply just to understand more about the student's writing strength or the interviewee's way of thinking, thus deciding whether he or she suits the company. Definitely not to be posted online that might get non-constructive, probably even destructive, and unnecessary comments on such incidents. It serves more negative purposes than positive ones, unless it is trying to promote something out of these articles for the greater good for the society. Although life is not always fair, it will be fair eventually because every action is a risk and reward system. We all will have to pay the price for all the actions we make in our life, including for all the actions we did not make as well. The mindset is never to judge, but to look at matters from different perspectives, and we will be able to know how others feel and their intended intentions so that we will know how to react appropriately without regretting afterwards. We don't lose, either we win or we learn. Smile! You may continue to watch the video if you are interested to know why I think it is always pointless to judge any actions in our daily lives unless you are a judge and you are required and supposed to do so. Here is my personal view. We can be on any side of the fence as long as we are responsible for the consequences of our actions. That means we can choose to react in any way we choose to, as long as we are ready to face any consequences that follow. There is simply no right or wrong way to react regardless of the actions, unless this reaction is illegal or it harms someone else. Let me elaborate with the incident mentioned earlier. The woman chose to help the duck. Thus, she has actually unknowingly chose to bear the consequences of every possible outcomes. The snake could attack her. The duck could be someone's special pet and probably would thank her for saving the duck. And the list goes on. There should not be any right or wrong type of mentality to judge such behavior in the first place because it is not right to judge whether a predator's life or a prey's life is more valuable to help or to ignore. So, if you want to help the snake, you have to be responsible for yourself if the snake misunderstood your intentions and attacked you instead. Or, if you want to help the duck, you have to be responsible if the duck misunderstood your intentions and attacked you out of defense, since we are unable to communicate with either of them, at least not yet. You could even do nothing about it and walk away, or get yourself a live view of documentary on hunting and escape process. The consequences of doing this could be you might feel bad for witnessing a duck get eaten, or you might feel bad that the snake failed and need to starve. It is not that complicated at all. It is as simple as it seems actually. In short, do the things that come to your mind, but make sure you can afford to bear the consequences. Doing nothing about it is also a choice, and similarly, you need to bear the consequences of doing nothing as well. Hey stranger, if you regretted a previous action or inaction you chose to do, learn from the mistakes and move on with your wonderful life. That is why I am dedicated to create this video for everyone around me. One way to be able to understand the situation better is to first try to put yourself in the person's shoes, and you will be able to understand where he or she is coming from. If you are not able to understand the situation well enough to be in his or her shoes, then there is even nothing much to comment about since you know nothing about the context. Agree? Have we ever thought that this could be the chance that the duck could learn an escaping skill and still have a chance to escape? Then it is because of its capability to escape, it earned itself a new life. Have we ever thought that the snake could still be learning to hunt and therefore it could miss this chance? then it is because of the inexperienced snake at the point of time that causes itself starvation. But of course, when such things happen, we might not have enough time to analyze and think about what we should do. So, my bottom line is to follow your personality. Regardless of any personality a person has, he or she will have to face with all sorts of consequences. If you think the word consequences is too strong a word to use, then we could use the word outcome instead. And I am sure you understand what I am trying to say. There is no right or wrong way to act on. Every action has its own outcomes, of course, including me making this video. When we see something happen, there is always an urge to do something about it. And there are actually so many things we could do when something has happened. Of course, it includes not doing anything. This video is the urge for me to do something about it. We need to think through before we act so that we would not regret acting on it or for not acting on it. Have a good day ahead.